In Africa, the cradle of mankind's birth, powerful kingdoms rose, a story of worth. From ancient times to the Middle Age, a continent's tale, a captivating stage. With deserts hot, the Sahara stands tall, and Nile's great river through nations it does sprawl. A youth-filled land, the youngest population, diamonds and cocoa from its fertile foundation. Exemplary leaders, their legacy told. Nkrumah, Mandela, their spirits bold. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, her first female leader, so wise. From Liberia's democracy, where freedom lies. Aliko Dangote, an entrepreneur's might. Wealthiest in Africa, a beacon of light. With refinery brand, his vision so vast. A symbol of progress, an icon to last. Namlolwe and Nyanza, a freshwater gem, reflected the dreams of many a gem. A continent of superlatives, it's true, with vibrance and vigor, a future anew. If history has shown such stars of grace, in Africa's embrace, new legends will trace. Let courage and dreams unite as one for a brighter tomorrow where greatness is spun. In this beautiful, colorful, and friendly domain, greatness awaits where hopes shall not wane, where tales of triumph weave a tapestry. Welcome to Today in African History. Considered by many the martyr of the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, Stephen Biko, or more commonly known as Steve Biko, was arrested on this day, August 18th, 1977. Biko, the founder of the Black Consciousness movement in South Africa, died in police custody. He gave Black South Africans, through his leadership and writings, a sense of empowerment and encouragement in the midst of South Africa's systematic racism. Bantu Stephen Biko was born on the 18th of December 1946 in King Williamstown, South Africa. He graduated in 1966 from St. Francis College and then entered the University of Natal Medical School. He was expelled from Natal Medical School in 1972 under accusations of political activism. He died of severe head trauma on the 12th of September 1977 in Pretoria, South Africa. 5 South African police officers confessed over 20 years later to being responsible for his death. How sad. So Steve Biko again died on this day in 1977. He was arrested on this day in 1977. He died of severe head trauma on the 12th of September 1977. Barely a month after his arrest. This happened in Pretoria, South Africa. Next, on this day, the International Olympic Committee announced in 1964, on August 18th, that it revoked the South African Olympic and National Games Association's invitation to the Summer Olympics in Tokyo due to the organization's lack of opposition to its country's apartheid policy. There's some things that, in our day and age, we think should happen automatically. But this was the year 1964 that the International Olympic Committee didn't see any wrong in what was going on in South Africa. That South Africa, the government of South Africa could not be sanctioned even in 1964. This is less than 75 years ago. 1964, less than 60 years ago. This was still happening in our world. Not to talk of what was going on in the United States of America. You know, some of you young men and women watching this today would think that the world was more, I don't know what the word is now, but it's shocking that less than 60 years ago, this was still going on in our planet. You would think that the human race would have evolved, in quotes, to a point where these things should not be things I would even be talking about. I think that there were still human beings who taught in such a very limited, such a very prejudiced way, that South Africa was still allowed to field athletes, white South African athletes, to the Olympics in a country that is still predominantly black. It is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. So I'm going to continue with this. South Africa's boycott from the Olympics extended through the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. South African athletes were segregated into teams based on race under the laws of apartheid. This was 1988, guys. Only white athletes and teams were recognized by the South African National Olympic Committee, the NOC, excluding the majority of the country's population simply as a result of skin color. At the 1963 IOC conference in Baden-Baden, Germany, which relocated from Nairobi, Kenya, after the Kenyan government, good for them, refused to issue visas to the South African delegation of Kosovo, pretty much all white. The IOC members voted to rescind the opportunity to compete in the Games if the South African National Olympic Committee would not oppose the imposed athlete restrictions. The NOC did not relent, and the boycott was implemented a year later. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that this is not a racist channel, okay? This is a channel to promote African unity and African cohesion. We welcome every single person of every race, as long as you're not racist. Whatever color you are, as long as you're not racist, as long as you see the other human being, whether a different skin color or not, as an equal, as a human being, just like you. South Africa is an all-inclusive country now. Okay, you could argue that blacks are still marginalized, that the white South Africans have a better deal, but that is changing. We hope that is slowly changing. At least the government has changed. It's a majority government now in South Africa. So it's onwards and forwards for the African continent, for South Africa, for Africans wherever they are. I'm not promoting racism. Just be fair to those who are the majority in the country. There's no need to oppress and suppress people. Absolutely no need. Not in this day and age, especially. Okay, we'll go on now to the last event of note on this day. His name is Leon Bridges. He is recorded as the founder of the second largest African-owned firm in Seattle. He was born on this day, August 18th, in 1932, in Los Angeles, California. In high school, he was told by a counselor that he couldn't become an architect because he was black. Oh dear me. And then, while a student in high school, he met his mentor, famed African-American architect Paul Williams. Now, of course, Paul Williams was his mentor, and Paul Williams would have told him that whatever this other person told you in your high school was absolute rubbish. And he went on to become a very famous architects. So I'm going to read further. After becoming a registered architect in 1962, Bridges formed his own firm, Leon Bridges AIA. AIA simply stands for American Institute of Architects. He did that in 1963. His first project was designing a building for the Seattle YMCA in 1966, pictured right here. In 1966, he formed a partnership with colleague Edward Burke, and they worked together until 1972, when Bridges relocated his firm to Baltimore. He was the first registered African American architect in Maryland. He served as National Director of the American Institute of Architects, where he co-founded the American Institute of Architects Ford Minority Scholarship Fund. In 1984, he was invested as a fellow of the prestigious College of Fellows of the American Institute of Architects. Bridges is the recipient of more than 20 national, regional, and local awards for design excellence, including the restoration of Baltimore's Penn Station and Baltimore City College High School. Bridges is also a member of the Council of the National Organization of Minority Architects, NOMA, for which he has served in every national office, including presidents. So that is a massive CV for Leon Bridges, recorded as the founder and second largest African American owned firm, architectural firm in Seattle. He was born on this day in 1932, was told he couldn't become an architect because he was black. He not only became an architect, but became a very, very successful architect. So whatever you want to do in your life, don't let anyone tell you it cannot be done, especially if you have a black skin. Don't let anyone tell you it cannot be done. You've seen good examples, very, 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 very successful black people. Why can't you be the next one? Do you think these successful black people didn't have people who discouraged them from achieving their dreams? They did. They're all successful today, and so can you. That's it for today's Today in African History. See you, hopefully, tomorrow for another educative and interesting edition of Today in African History. If you are here for the first time and you haven't liked the video yet, why not like the video so that the algorithm recognizes that you do like the video and it will let this video be seen by other like-minded people. Subscribe to the channel as well. Turn on your notification bell so that you are notified whenever we upload a new video. If you're here for the second or third time and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why not subscribe? So if you like what we're doing here, share this video as well. Like the video, turn on your notification bell so that you'll receive updates of our uploads. See you again tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.